How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another Creepypasta reading. My name is Stephen, and tonight we will be reading Cove, a story about a strange, old, nearly forgotten TV show with a dark secret. What exactly is the secret? Well, let's find out in Cove. Net Nostalgia Forum, television, local. Skyshell 033, subject, Cove, local kids show? Does anyone remember this kids show? It was called Cove, and I must have been around 6 or 7. I never found reference to it anywhere, so I think it was on a local station around 71, 72. I lived in Ironton at the time. I don't remember which station, but I do remember it was on at a weird time, like 4 p.m. Mike Painter, 65. It seems really familiar to me. I grew up outside of Ashland, and I was 9. It seems really familiar to me. I grew up outside of Ashland and was 9 years old in 72. Cove. Was it about pirates? I remember a pirate marionette at the mouth of a cave talking to a little girl. Skyshell 033. Yes, okay, I'm not crazy. I remember Pirate Percy. I was always kind of scared of him. He looked like he was built from parts of other dolls, real low budget. His head was an old porcelain baby doll, looked like an antique that didn't belong on the body. I don't remember which station this was. I don't think it was WTSF though. Jaren 2005. Sorry to resurrect this old thread, but I know exactly what show you mean, Skyshell. I think Cove ran only for a couple of months in 71 and 72. I was 12 when I watched it a few times with my brother. It was channel 58, whatever station that was. My mom would let me switch to it after the news. Let me see what I remember. It took place in Cove, and it was about this little girl who imagined herself to be friends with pirates. The pirate ship was called the Laughingstock, and Pirate Percy wasn't a very good pirate because he got scared too easily. And there's Calliope music constantly playing. I don't remember the girl's name. Janice, Jade, something. I think it was Janice. Skyshell 033. Thank you, Jaren. Memories flooded back when you mentioned the Laughingstock in Channel 58. I remember the bow of the ship was a wooden smiling face, with the lower jaw submerged. It looked like it was swallowing the sea, and it had that awful Ed Wynn voice and laugh. I especially remember how jarring it was when they switched from a wooden plastic model to the foam puppet version of the head that talked. Mike Painter, 65. I remember now too. Do you remember the part, Skyshell? You have to go inside. Skyshell 033. Ugh, Mike, I got a chill reading that. Yes, I remember. That was what the ship always told Percy when there was a spooky place he had to go in, like a cave or a dark room where the treasure was, and the camera would pan on the Laughingstock's face with each pause. You have to go inside. With his 2 eyes askew, and that flopping foam jaw, and the fishing line that opened and closed. Ugh. It just looked so cheap and awful. You guys remember the villain? He had the face that was just a handlebar mustache and really tall, narrow teeth. Kevin Hart. Honestly thought the villain was Pirate Percy. I was about 5 when the show came on. Absolute nightmare fuel. Jaren 2005. That wasn't the villain. The puppet with the mustache was only the villain's sidekick. Horace Horrible. He had the monocle too, but it was on the top of the mustache. I used to think that only meant he had 1 eye. But yeah, the villain was another marionette. The Skin Taker, I believe. I can't believe what they let us watch back then. Kevin Hart. Jesus H. Christ, the Skin Taker? What kind What kind of kids show were we watching? I seriously could not look at the screen when the skid taker showed up. He just descended out of nowhere on his strings, and just a dirty skeleton wearing that brown top hat and cape. His glass eyes are too big for his skull. Christ almighty. SkyShell033. Wasn't his top hat and cloak sewn up all crazily? Wasn't that supposed to be children's skin? Mike Painter, 65. Yeah, I think so. Remember when his mouth didn't open and close? His jaw just slipped back and forth. I remember this little girl. She said, "Why does your mouth move like that?" And the skin taker didn't look at the girl, but looked at the camera and said, "To grind your skin." SkyShell033. I'm so relieved that other people remember this terrible show. I used to have this awful memory, a bad dream where the opening jingle ended and the show faded in from black. All the characters were there, but the camera was just cutting to each of their faces. They were just screaming, and the puppets and marionettes were flailing spastically, and just all screaming and screaming. The girl was moaning and crying like she had been through 2 hours of this. I woke up many times from that nightmare. I used to wet the bed when I had it. Kevin Hart. I don't think that was a dream, because I remember that. I thought that was an episode. SkyShell033. No, that's not possible. There wasn't a plot or anything. I mean, just standing in place and crying and screaming for the whole show. Kevin Hart. Maybe I'm manufacturing the memory now because he said it, but I swear to God, I remember seeing what you described. They just screamed. Jaren, 2005. Oh God, yes. The little girl Janice, I remember seeing her shake, and the skin taker screaming through his gnashing teeth, his jaw careening so wildly I thought it would come off the wires. I thought it would come off its wire hinges. It turned off, and it was the last time I ever watched a show. I ran to tell my brother, and we didn't have the courage to turn it back on. Mike Painter, 65. I remember my mom today at the nursing home. I visited my mom today at the nursing home. I asked about when I was little in the early 70s, when I was 8 or 9, and she remembered if she remembered a kids show, Candle Cove. She said she was surprised I could remember that, and I asked why. She said, "Because I used to think it was so strange that you'd say, 'I'm gonna watch Candle Cove now, Mom,' and you just tune the TV to static and just watch dead air for 30 minutes. You had a big imagination with your pirate show." Alright, that was Candle Cove, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen. What'd you think? Tell me in the comments. Give me a rating. What would you rate it out of 1 through 10? Maybe you like the video, share it. Join the Discord. Link in the description. Personally, me, I thought it was pretty cool. Not scary. I didn't really think it was so scary because, it's just a TV show. Like, yeah, there's mystery. Like, why does this show exist? How did it come on air? How do these kids all have the same memories from it? And, well, while the mystery is intriguing, I've never really been a big fan of this show. The story, I mean. Sorry for the poor quality of narrating this episode. I've been under the weather recently, past few days. Hope it's not too distracting. Anyways. Tell me what you think about the show. Tell me your theories about it in the comments or in the Discord. And like and share the video. Alright. Peace.